What is up, y'all? What is going on? I want to talk about how get out of the matrix, y'all. Step out of the matrix. And this isn't just because, you know, I'm depressed and stressed out and going through things. This is just me. That's one thing about it. When you're down and out and you're depressed and you've hit rock bottom and you're basically alone, you have a lot of time to think and contemplate about how did you get here, what led you here, what are ways that you could have prevented this, and how can you get yourself out of this? You know, what were the factors to how you got here? You know, you have time to really sit down and really, you know, look back at things and think. And critically think, not just thinking, but critically thinking. And when I look back, get out of the matrix is what I can say. Because so many of us, we spend our whole lives in the matrix, tapped in. Some of y'all did the blue pill, some of y'all did the red pill, some of y'all didn't do no pill. You know, you just still tapped into the matrix because that's what society is about. I spent so much time, you know, in the past, I would say in the past 5 years, longer than that really, but I'm just gonna say 2013 because that 2013 was a pivotal year for me. So I spent so much time focused on politics and social justice and community organizing that I completely lost myself, and I damaged myself, I drained myself. I was basically working on killing myself at that point. And 2018, ironically on the 5-year mark, ain't that something? Everything just fell apart. Everything just came shattering down. What goes up must come down. And it's been an excruciating learning process. It's been a hard hit reality check. And man, I'm looking back. And it's just like, wow, you spent all this time in this warped facade, this warped view, this illusion, this facade. And it's just like, wow. And you're just like, you spent all this time in this, you know, I had to film it on that Insta facade. This illusion, this facade. And it's just like, wow. You spent all this. It's crazy when I look back at it, because I was really caught up in the mess. I really was. I was eating the chicken and drinking the Kool-Aid. I was a part of the matrix. I was with everybody else. We're gonna make a change. We're gonna get out here and we're gonna change lives. And I'm not saying that we can't, or I can't, or you can't change lives and improve society. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm trying to be a Reba reality check. Okay? Like, step out of the matrix. Get out of the matrix. So 5 years later, 2018, disastrous year. I spent all this time believing Democratic Party was the way to go. The Democratic Party takes care of the people. They're for people of color. They're for women. They're for the LGBTQ plus community. They are liberal. They're progressive. They're for the people. I mean, democracy, right? And then on top of that, you know, in my family, I grew up in a Democratic family. You know, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody is a Democrat for the most part. So it's easy to be indoctrinated into that. I mean, I remember 3rd grade, another pivotal year. So much effed up shit took place in 3rd grade. 3rd grade for me was 2000 through 2001. And the year I was molested, sexually assaulted, and abused for an entire year. Craziest shit ever. Really damaged me. Still damaged from it. But anyway, that was also the year of Al Gore and George W. Bush in the presidential election. And I remember, realizing, based off of my grandparents and how involved they were with the Democratic Party and them being union people. Democrat, you gotta get Al Gore in there. I just realized then, and then that's why I just stayed on it. Then Obama, then we had the Kerry situation, trying to get John Kerry in there. He lost horribly. Then we got Obama, and then that was a big thing, pushing for Obama. My whole life has been Democratic. And then as I got older, got into high school, social justice was really there for me. Junior year, I joined Suit Diversity Club at my high school, 11th grade. And then from there, I just stayed in social justice and still had that democratic process of, okay. And then as I got into college, I got more and more involved with social justice and volunteering and community service and all this other shit. And then 2013 came, or 2012, still with the college Democrats, everything. And here we are today, 2018. And I am stepping out of the matrix to say, it's really sad when you have experiences that forever change your perception of life, your perspective, your reality. And you realize that you've been lied to. You've been grossly lied to. And you've been grossly exploited by the very entities that you believed in. I was a field organizer for the Michigan Democratic Party in this past 2018 midterm elections. I've been a precinct delegate for 2 years. I was re-elected in August of this year, in the August 2018 primary. Been to countless meetings, countless conventions, organized efforts around the state of Michigan for the Democratic Party, paid it forward, gave back, volunteered, civic justice, marched, rallied, boycotted, did it all for community, for the people, for the party, for justice, for equality, for equity, for inclusion, for progressive liberal change, for my people. But what do I have in return? And what has the Democratic Party or any of these useless organizations, what have any of them really done for the people, for the community? They claim to be for people of color, for black folks, Black Lives Matter, for the LGBTQ+, for women and children and blah, yada, 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 yada. And it really is just a bunch of talking points. Because what I've learned through experience, through being exploited, through being lied to, through being used and abused, you're just a number. You're just a number. When they're finished with you, they will throw you away like trash. They will throw you out in the curb. They will throw you to the wolves if they have to. And they do it all the time. The Democrats are constantly compromising. And every time they compromise, who ends up being thrown to the wolves? The people. But they're not the only organization who does this. They're not the only, entity that works like this. And this isn't a video to push you to be a Republican, because Republicans ain't shit either. I mean, my God, the two-party political system is hypocritical at best and very contradictory. I mean, how is it a representative democracy, yet you constantly edge out the opportunity for third parties? You make it extremely difficult for third parties to build anything here. But it's totally a democracy. It's totally representative. No, it isn't. Democrats tell you what you want to hear, get in office, and cut your throat. Republicans are straight up, they are not supporting women. They are not supporting the LGBTQ+. They are not supporting people of color. They make it obvious. Where Democrats sit up and make it seem like they are supporting those groups, only to throw those groups at the wolf. At the big bad wolf. And then really, left wing, right wing, still on the same dirty ass bird. And that's the sad part. It's an illusion that there's differences when there's really not. Because there's poor liberals and there's poor conservatives. And we spend all our time labeling ourselves and categorizing ourselves, basically dividing ourselves, and we're being conquered by the entities with the power. Step out of the matrix. Get out of the matrix. We spent all this time believing that these entities are doing something for us when they're not. All the money that is wasted on literature, we gotta drop lit, we gotta have literature on the candidates, on the proposals, on the initiatives. And it's just wasted, because at the end of the election, what are we doing? We're throwing it away. We're recycling it. I mean, boxes of literature. Hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars wasted on these campaigns just to elect the same damn people who aren't going to do a damn thing for you or your family or your community. Get out of the matrix. Step out. But, so let me tell you a little story. This video is going to be a little long. The funniest thing ever, so we're all organizing with the Michigan Democratic Party. We're all out here, working over 40 hours a week, which is funny because the Democratic Party likes to talk about how they support labor and worker rights. Yet, the actual Democratic Party in the state of Michigan had us working over a 40-hour work week. So much for the 40-hour work week that labor unions fought for. So much for the 8-hour work day that labor unions fought for, that workers fought for. So much for that shit. Because I was working on average 60 plus hours a week. And then here goes another insult after injury. Not only are you working over 60 hours a week, well past the 40-hour labor union worker right? But you're only going to be paid for the 40-hour work week, even though you're working 20 plus additional hours a week. So not only are you working yourself to death, to the bone, physically and mentally exhausted, but you're not being paid for the work you're doing, so you're essentially doing slave labor, unpaid labor. Crazy, right? You're not allowed to go home. You're doing 10, 12, 16, 18-hour shifts Just absolutely ridiculous. Your phone banking, aka harassing people to vote or volunteer for you in the Democratic Party. You're being used like a pawn in your community. Checkmate. And it really makes you wonder, you know, are you playing checkers or are you playing chess? Either way, they're both strategic games, but chess is a little more oomph than checkers, and we always knew that. And which brings me to my next point. Social justice warriors. SJWs. And here's the funny thing is, it's always used to describe liberals, but yet conservatives have their social justice warriors too, because they believe they're fighting social justice even though it's against what I believe in. Everyone thinks that they're doing the right thing, but in reality, you ain't doing shit, and it's an illusion. So back to the SJWs, and I'm gonna start doing more videos like this. The social justice warriors are very annoying because they spend all their, and I used to be one. Again, step out of the matrix. I used to be one. You spend all your time arguing minute issues. Like, who can use a bathroom? And should white people have dreadlocks? Now, I know you're gonna be like, but Gia, you're trans. I am trans. And you're black. And I am black. But here's the thing. We're arguing over trivial shit when there are actual laws being wrote up to deny us of rights. But instead of us focusing on big shit like that, we're gonna have an argument about who can use a fucking urinal and who can use a fucking bathroom stall and who can wear dreadlocks and who can't. That's what the hell we're gonna argue about? And then we're hashtagging it up. Everything's a hashtag with us. You're spending all this time arguing folks on social media. In the meantime, there are politicians behind back doors crafting up shit to make your life a living hell. And they're on both sides of the aisle, regardless of Democrat or Republican. They're both working against you. They're both exploiting you. They're both using you. But social justice warriors, what are we doing? We're arguing with people that have more in common with us than we think. Like I said, these labels, identity politics, and all this categorizing shit is nothing but a tool to divide and conquer and to keep us from each other. Because again, the same people that vote for Republicans are the same people that vote for Democrats. You know, these are people who have lost everything, living paycheck to paycheck, don't know when their next meal is coming, don't know if they're going to be able to stay afloat during the holiday season, don't have health insurance, or the health insurance they have it's not good. They have these out of whack co-pays. People are struggling on both aisles. People are struggling on every sector. But instead of us coming together as one in a union to get health care that can take care of all of us, to get decent paying jobs so all of us can have something, we're spending all our times doing SJW shit. We're arguing about dumb shit, And then another reason why I say step out of the matrix, pay attention to how, you're divided and conquer, and they're telling you what you should focus on, but they're also telling you what you shouldn't focus on. And they're also telling you who you should be mad at, who you should be angry at. So back to the SJWs. You ever notice We're always angry. I mean, essentially, they're just angry, and they want to be angry. They want to be upset. They want to be oppressed. They want something to be negative and go downhill. They want something to nitpick at, so you all can be distracted from what's really going on, so you can argue and debate about trivial shit. Meanwhile, your liberty, your rights, and your pursuit to happiness is being stolen from you. You don't even realize it because you're too caught up on who can say the N-word and what, you know, it's just, what the hell? You know, who, can someone kneel when the Pledge of Allegiance or the Star Spangled Banner or the National Anthem is going on? You know, that's what we're concerned about. Is there a blue stripe going through your blue flag? Like, that's the shit that we're worried about. So you can nitpick and be angry for the day and completely forget about what's really going to impact your life. This video is long, so I'm gonna end it. But red pill, blue pill, no pill. Democrat, Republican, no party. Doesn't really matter, because as long as you're in the matrix, you're going to continue to be blinded, and you're going to continue to be led astray. And again, when you're depressed and you're down and out, you're at rock bottom, you have time to think about all of this shit. How did you get here? What happened? Where did you go wrong? You have the time to think about it. And you know what? I've been thinking.